With Mr. Jason Unruhe, political commentator and analyst, who is joining us via Skype out of Ontario. Jason, it's good to see you. And well, it seems that the final scene is beginning to be prepared for Guaido and his mission. What do you say about this, Jason?
I say it's long overdue. I mean, I understand that the Venezuelan government wants to go through the legal, lawful process, but for many of us, we're very frustrated at these developments, these actions by the United States. This is a very welcome development. I mean, it's very clear that Juan Guaido attempted to coup the Venezuelan government. He unilaterally decided that the elections were a fraud without providing any evidence whatsoever. And even if he had been given the authority to do what it is that he claimed he did, his power would have been up quite a while ago. I think it's very, very obvious that he works on behalf of the interests of both the United States, the UK, and other imperialist powers to subvert Venezuela to those whims. I mean, he could not have made it any more clear. I think that it's also very clear that he has demonstrated that he wants to damage Venezuela. He agreed with the U.S. sanctions on the country, which include blocking food and medicine, which is frankly not legally, but is a crime against humanity. So I think that him being accused of treason, which is what many people do, I think that it's very clear that he is guilty. And I think that once he faces justice, he will very much be convicted. I mean, nothing short of a miracle, in my opinion, would get him off from that. But I think this signals a very important stage in the development of the relationship between the United States and Venezuela. This was their great hope. This was the United States man on the inside that was going to try to finally do what the United States has been trying to do for almost 20 years, and that is undo the gains of the Bolivarian Revolution. But it seems like this is another plan that has failed.
Right.
I think that a lot of
Right, Jason, there's another thing that I'd like to discuss with you. Guaido has obviously gathered up a large number of people behind him as self-declared president. He has started one of the strongest oppositions in the country. Don't you think that prosecuting him at this point will plunge Venezuela further into the crisis that it does not need right now, on top of the crises that it is suffering at the moment?
Well, I do think that's a very difficult question. I think it's very hard for the Venezuelan government to decide what they're going to do in this situation. If they do prosecute him, there will certainly be a significant amount of unrest. However, if they don't prosecute him, they leave themselves open for more coup attempts in the future. They continue to let him be a symbol of essentially U.S. power inside the country. Where this is a very difficult political situation for the Venezuelan government, deciding which is the lesser of two evils in this situation. But I think in the end, I would hope that the fundamental principles of justice would prevail and that he would face a criminal prosecution. However, this is a very delicate, complicated political situation, and one that I sincerely hope that the Venezuelan government is up to dealing with in a lawful, meaningful way that will try to help bring some kind of solidarity to the Venezuelan people to reject this kind of malicious U.S. influence.
And you know what, they're trying to deal with the issue of Guaido, and this is what I'm thinking. And one by one, they're going to deal with the other issues, including the power outages, the dire situation of economy in that country. Do you think that this might be, I don't know, you tell me, this might be the first step towards correcting things?
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, this is a large, complicated situation that doesn't have a smash and grab simple answer as much as many of us would like it to be. I think it's going to take a great deal of political wrangling and dealing with many of the technical issues that have come up as a result of the sabotage inside the country is a very difficult thing to deal with, given the very disadvantaged position that Venezuela is in right now. It is very clearly being encircled fueled by U.S. imperialism, not just on a military front, but on a political front as well. And they've certainly got a very, very long, deep struggle still ahead of them to free themselves of what it is that the U.S. and other imperialist powers have put against them. However, this I still feel is a positive step in the right direction in terms of getting foreign influence out of the country, out of politics. I mean, this would be simply unacceptable if anybody was doing this to the United States. However, the United States has, coined the famous phrase, "This is our backyard." Their perceived right to interfere in other people's political processes for their own benefit. And I think that this is still a struggle against internal turmoil that is going to continue for some time.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jason Unruhe, political commentator and analyst via Skype out of Ontario.